Today, we honor the remarkable life of Russell M. Nelson, who passed away peacefully at age 101 in his Salt Lake City home. His journey was unlike any other, first as a world-renowned heart surgeon who saved countless lives, and later as a spiritual leader who brought faith, hope, and healing to millions. His legacy is one of love, service, and unwavering devotion, reminding us all of the extraordinary power of a life dedicated to lifting others.
Long before Russell Nelson became known worldwide as a spiritual leader, he was already a hero in hospital operating rooms across America. In 1955, at just 31 years old, he performed Utah's very first open-heart surgery, opening new possibilities for healing that would save countless lives. But what made Dr. Nelson truly special wasn't just his surgical skill, it was his heart. He reminded his medical teams that every patient on their table had a family at home praying for their recovery, and that each person deserved nothing less than their absolute best effort. Over his remarkable 30-year medical career, he performed more than 7,000 operations, each one a testament to his dedication to healing and his deep reverence for the gift of life. His colleagues remember him not just as a brilliant surgeon, but as a gentle, caring doctor who treated every patient with profound respect and love.
Some of the most beautiful love stories begin with music, and Russell Nelson's was no exception. As a young college student, he arrived at a theater rehearsal and heard the most incredible soprano voice echoing from the stage. She was stunning, he later recalled. Her voice was incredible, and I said, "Who is that?" That voice belonged to Dantzel, and from the moment they met, Russell knew she was the love of his life. They never dated anyone else from that point forward, beginning a beautiful 60-year marriage that would become the foundation for everything wonderful that followed. Music remained the heartbeat of their home. They bought a used piano for less than $100 early in their marriage, and Russell would wake up early each morning to play while studying scriptures, filling their home with both melody and spirituality. Their love story created a legacy of 10 beautiful children, 57 grandchildren, and more than 167 great-grandchildren, all blessed by the example of their devoted parents. What made Russell Nelson truly special wasn't just his professional achievements, but his extraordinary dedication to his family. His daughter Gloria remembers how her father would come home from his demanding medical practice and immediately seek out her mother for a loving hug and kiss, teaching his children that the best thing a man can do for his children is to love their mother. Despite his incredibly busy schedule, performing life-saving surgeries, and later serving in church leadership, he made it his mission to be present for every important moment in his children's lives. Every blessing, baptism, wedding, and milestone. He would take his children on individual trips with him, creating precious one-on-one time to listen to their dreams, concerns, and aspirations. Family prayers twice daily, weekly family time, and scripture reading together weren't just traditions in the Nelson home. They were expressions of a father's deep love for his children and his commitment to building strong, loving relationships that would last forever. Russell Nelson's capacity for love extended far beyond his own family to embrace the entire world. After becoming a church leader in 2018 at age 93, he embarked on an incredible journey of global service, visiting 32 countries and territories to meet with people of every background, culture, and faith. His ability to speak 11 languages wasn't just an impressive skill. It was an expression of his deep love for all people and his desire to connect with them in their own tongue. Whether speaking Spanish to thousands in Peru, conversing in Chinese during medical procedures, or offering greetings in Russian, he showed that love truly is a universal language. His travels took him to meet with world leaders, religious figures, and everyday people, always with the same message. We are all children of the same loving God, and we can build bridges of understanding across any divide. One of the most beautiful aspects of Russell Nelson's later life was his dedication to building bridges between different faiths, cultures, and communities. His historic meeting with Pope Francis at the Vatican in 2019 was the first ever between leaders of their respective faiths, and both men spoke warmly of the experience afterward. President Nelson called the Pope a sweet, wonderful man and praised his gracious, loving leadership. His partnership with the NAACP demonstrated his commitment to racial harmony and understanding, working together on educational initiatives and humanitarian projects that lifted communities regardless of background. He taught that we don't have to be alike or look alike to have love for each other. We don't even have to agree with each other to love each other. This philosophy guided his interactions with government officials, religious leaders, and ordinary people around the world, always seeking common ground and shared humanity.
Those who knew Russell Nelson best remembered him as an extraordinary teacher whose influence extended far beyond any classroom or pulpit. President Dallin H. Oakes, his longtime colleague and friend, described him as having extraordinary modesty for a man of his great accomplishments and praised his remarkable gentleness, calling him the gentlest and sweetest person you could ever hope to associate with. As a medical professor, he trained countless surgeons who went on to save lives around the world, passing on not just technical skills, but his deep reverence for life and commitment to excellence. His approach to teaching was always patient, thorough, and encouraging, whether he was instructing medical students in complex surgical procedures or helping families understand principles of faith and service. He believed deeply in the potential of every person and had a remarkable gift for helping others see possibilities in themselves they never knew existed. Throughout his remarkable 101 years, Russell Nelson embodied the principle of lifelong learning and growth. His educational journey was extraordinary, graduating from medical school at just 22, earning a PhD, completing residencies in multiple states, and never stopping his pursuit of knowledge and improvement. But his learning wasn't confined to textbooks and medical journals. He studied languages so he could better serve people around the world, learned about different cultures so he could build meaningful relationships, and constantly sought to understand how he could be more effective in helping others. His famous quote, "You are never too young to learn, never too old to change," became a guiding principle for millions of people who saw in his example that age is never a barrier to growth, improvement, and service. Even in his final years, he continued learning, adapting, and finding new ways to serve and bless the lives of others.
When Russell Nelson's beloved wife Dantzel passed away unexpectedly in 2005 after 60 years of marriage, those who knew him witnessed something beautiful: how a person of deep faith transforms grief into greater love and service. Rather than becoming bitter or withdrawn, he seemed to develop an even deeper appreciation for family, relationships, and the precious nature of every moment we have with those we love. 2 years later, he found love again with Dr. Wendy Watson, an accomplished marriage and family therapist who brought new joy and companionship to his life. His children welcomed her with open arms, and she became a loving blessing not just to Russell, but to their entire extended family. Their marriage demonstrated that love has no age limits and that hearts can expand to embrace new relationships while honoring cherished memories. Together, they served and traveled the world, showing that partnerships built on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine affection can flourish at any stage of life. Perhaps nothing brought Russell Nelson more pure joy than his role as grandfather and great-grandfather to a remarkable family legacy of 57 grandchildren and more than 167 great-grandchildren. Family members describe how his face would light up when surrounded by children, how he would take time to listen to each one individually, and how he made every grandchild feel uniquely special and loved. Despite his demanding responsibilities as a world leader, he maintained close relationships with his extended family, remembering birthdays, celebrating achievements, and offering encouragement during challenging times. His great-grandchildren will grow up with stories of their remarkable ancestor who saved lives as a surgeon, led millions as a spiritual leader, and most importantly, showed them through his example what it means to love unconditionally. His family legacy is perhaps his greatest achievement. Generations of children who learn from his example the importance of education, service, faith, and above all, love for one another. Throughout his life, Russell Nelson consistently shared a message of hope, unity, and the incredible potential within every human being. He taught that we can literally change the world one person and one interaction at a time through kindness, respect, and genuine care for others. His approach to differences was always constructive and loving, encouraging people to lay aside bitterness and choose understanding over conflict. He believed deeply that what unites us as human beings is far greater than what divides us, and he spent his later years working tirelessly to build bridges between people of different backgrounds, beliefs, and circumstances. His message was never about division or exclusion, but always about inclusion, love, and the beautiful potential that exists when people choose to work together for the common good. This philosophy guided his interactions with world leaders, his medical practice, his family relationships, and his spiritual leadership. Even in his final years, Russell Nelson continued to embody the principles of service and love that had guided his entire life. At 100 years old, he was still actively leading, still learning, still finding ways to bless the lives of others.
His remarkable longevity wasn't just about physical health, but about having a purpose that gave meaning to every day, the opportunity to serve others and make the world a better place. Those who spent time with him in his final months describe a man at peace, surrounded by family he adored, grateful for the incredible journey his life had been, and ready to transition peacefully to whatever came next. His passing at home, surrounded by love, seems fitting for someone who spent his entire life creating homes filled with love for others. The peace of his final departure reflects the peace he brought to countless lives throughout his remarkable century of service.
As we remember Russell M. Nelson, we're not just mourning a loss, we're celebrating a legacy that will continue to bless lives for generations to come. The thousands of patients whose lives he saved through his surgical skills are living testimonies to his healing touch. The medical students he trained continue his tradition of excellence and compassion in operating rooms around the world. The temples he helped build will serve as places of peace and reflection for centuries. The families he strengthened through his teaching and example will pass on his values of love, service, and dedication to their children and grandchildren. Most importantly, the millions of people whose lives he touched through his gentle leadership, his message of hope, and his example of service will carry forward his spirit of kindness and love in their own interactions with others. His legacy isn't carved in stone, it lives in the hearts and actions of all those he inspired to be better, to serve more, and to love deeper.
Russell M. Nelson's story is ultimately one of the most beautiful lives ever lived. Beautiful in its dedication to healing, beautiful in its commitment to family, beautiful in its service to others, and beautiful in its example of how one person can make an extraordinary difference in the world. From the young medical student who fell in love with a soprano's voice to the 101-year-old leader who passed peacefully, surrounded by the family he cherished, every chapter of his life was marked by love, service, and an unwavering commitment to making life better for others. He showed us that true greatness isn't measured by titles or achievements, but by the love we share, the service we render, and the lives we touch along the way. As we say farewell to this remarkable man, we carry with us the beautiful example he set and the profound reminder that a life lived in service to others is a life of true meaning, lasting joy, and eternal significance. Thank you, Russell M. Nelson, for showing us what it means to live beautifully.